My name is Jeff Mills. I run channel development and marketing for Bluespring. We are a business process or human workflow software company based in Cincinnati, Ohio. Open XML has opened up a lot of doors for us from a capability standpoint. We help companies improve their processes by improving the work done by people. And we specifically leverage Open XML to allow them to leverage Office documents as a core part of that process by taking data out of other systems and dynamically putting them into Excel and Word files and other types of Office document formats that people already know how to use, and simplifies the process and makes it easier for people to adopt our technology. The best feedback we've gotten is that most of the users of our technology don't know that we're there. Their user experience with Bluespring is an Outlook email with an Excel spreadsheet using a template that they've been using for 10 years, or a Word file, or some other types of Outlook formats that users are used to. One of the biggest challenges in adopting technology in companies is forcing them to change their behavior or learn something new. And we're able to eliminate that, any user adoption issues, by letting them use the tools they already have and they already know how to use. One of the big things we do is increase efficiencies inside of companies. Excel is probably the most used application, enterprise or desktop application on the planet. And we had a lot of steps in the process that would require people to take data out of one system and rekey it into an Excel format so that they could actually do something with it. Open XML allows us to dynamically create an Office document and populate it with that data, freeing up a lot of time so that that person can just focus on doing the job they were hired to do, as opposed to spending a quarter of their time rekeying information. And we run into that a lot. A second great use of that technology is the ability to take data or drive workflow-based, forms-driven workflow, leveraging Open XML as well. So we take that capability and it really makes our product a lot easier to use. With me is Al Keirle. Al runs our customer support and operations back in Cincinnati, but is here to help us out with a demonstration of our product.
What I'm going to show you today is going to start off with our Bpm Designer, which is where you go ahead and model the business process. Within there, we're going to demonstrate an employee onboarding process initiated with an info path form on Sharepoint, run that through, and eventually create a Word document using the Open XML, and also creating a PDF document. And we'll dive into the Word document towards the end once the demo is over and show you how we actually did that. What we have here is our Bpm Designer, and on the right side of the screen is our canvas for modeling a business process. Along the left side are our business activities, and we have 75 out-of-the-box business activities, all of which are web service. Included in those are the ones that deal with working with Office documents in Open XML. The demonstration we're going to run here today is, as I said, it's an employee onboarding process. And the first step in the process, we go ahead and manage some of the data from the initial form, which is a Microsoft InfoPath form. We're going to take the first name, last name, concatenate those together, put a domain, and we create an email address out of that. The next major step in the process is to go ahead and add that user to Active Directory. The third step, and that's where we have the process running right now. I've already started this process, so we're going to start in this step here, but it's where we go ahead and task a human worker with something to do. In this case here, we're going to task a phone system admin with the task of assigning a phone number to this new employee. Once they've done that, there's a couple things that take place. One, we create a PDF document or a W-4 form for the new employee. We indicate to the application that the phone number is no longer available, and in this case here, we're writing out to a SharePoint list with the employee's name and the phone number. And then the last activity here of these three is where we go ahead and create a Word document with information that's flowing through the business process. And then lastly, we notify the new employee or welcome them to the company with an email, which has links back into a SharePoint repository that has the stored documents there. What I've done so far is I've gone ahead and initiated the process, and I can go over here to our Business Activity Monitor and show you where the process stands. And on the left side here is any process that's running that's meeting my filtering criteria, and that is based on today. On the upper portion of the screen, as I highlight something on the left side, you get a line item for each step in the process that's already executed. And the keys to that are the start and end time of each, the duration, and who it was done by. And in this case here, every step so far has been automated. Down below you have a graphical representation of what the process looks like. Items in green are good. They've been successfully completed. The one in blue here is a manual activity indicating that someone's been tasked with a piece of work. And I can double-click on any of these icons down below and get some additional information about that. In this case here, I can see it was assigned to this individual at 2:32 Eastern Time. There's been no escalation to date. And I can also go ahead and look at the data that's flowing through the process. And this is the data before the person goes and does that work, and this is the data that's going to take place after he's done with that. So what we have here are a Sharepoint Web part that comes out of the box with our application. You know, you get the same graphical representation that you saw in the Business Activity Monitor here, so you can see down below from an end-user perspective what it looks like and where the process stands. On the upper portion of the screen is a task list, and this has been assigned to Jane Smith, where she's been tasked with assigning that phone number to Jerry Riley in this case. And what we have here then is on the right side we have a bitmap of the floor plan of where Jerry's going to sit. And then we also have some read-only fields here, and then one field which is editable, and that's the assignment of the phone number, and we have a list of available phone numbers that this person can choose from. It's going to indicate to the application that they've completed the work. It's going to go ahead and tell the process to start again, and it's going to clean out their task list here once it's refreshed the screen. So the process is continued on. I'm going to go back into our Business Activity Monitor and show you the status of how things have taken place since then. Refresh my screen, and you can see the manual activity now has gone green, which means it's successfully completed. We'll go back over here, and we can monitor the data that was flowing through the process. And as you can see here, that the only real difference in the data is the phone number that was assigned. And let me scroll down here. So beforehand, there was no phone number in this piece of data. Now we do have a phone number that was assigned. So from a compliance and metrics standpoint, you can go ahead and see how long it takes someone to go ahead and do a piece of work. In this case here, it took Jane Smith 10 minutes and 30 seconds to go ahead and do that work. We can see it was assigned to Jane, and we can also track the data that was flowing through the process at the time. Now the last couple of steps in the process I talked about are the documents here. And we're going to go back over and show you how we use one of those documents, and in particular, how we create the Word document using the Open XML format. With our activity here, and this is an activity that works with Office 07, the Office 07 application, we go ahead and indicate where we want to pull our template from. And our template, as I said, is an Open XML 07 document. We indicate where we want to pull the template from. We also indicate where we're going to put the template to. And the beauty of this is the end user who is doing this configuration doesn't have to do a lot with the data. The data is really taking place when we work with the template itself. And I'm going to pull up the template and kind of show you how we build that template out. And using the Developer tab now in Office 07, go ahead and highlight any piece of text here on the form, indicate, click on the Property tab here, and you can see that we put in a piece of data here. And that title there corresponds to a data item that's flowing through our process. So when our process runs, the engine takes the data item that's flowing through the process, matches it up with the data item that's defined in the property in the Word document, and goes ahead and pre-populates that information. And we've done that with all the pieces of data here on the screen. And the end result is, and I'll go out and refresh my email, the end result is that the new employee has an email that welcomes them to the company. We'll go ahead here and click on the business card. So we can see here, the name's been dynamically substituted during runtime. So the Jerry Riley name was something that was put in at the beginning. The title was selected at the beginning. The phone number was something that was picked up along the way from the manual task assignment. And the last piece of data is information that was derived in the process along the way. So this is how we go ahead and use the Open XML format to create a Word document, starting with a template, defining the information in that template, and then running it through our engine to go ahead and populate that document. And that's a quick little demonstration of our application.